Alright, fuck faces, welcome back to Cute Bots, an artwod workout where the goal of the workout is to be able to learn how to draw mechs. They say cute bots, I'm gonna extrapolate it to just learn how to draw any type of mech, obviously. But right now the goal is we're learning hinges. I have internalized a hinge mannequin, and now the goal is to draw shapes around that hinge, right? Like I'm trying to figure out and to visualize the hinge, first of all, to genuinely visualize the hinge in my mind, on the page, whatever. I realize that I may be trying to visualize um in the way that, like, Master Kim Jong-il and like sometimes Peter Han, like they say like they see it on the page, but Peter Han even said it, like he doesn't really see it on the page, he sees it in his mind, right? So I just need to find that balance for myself where I see it on the page or in my mind and I just encompass that, right? Because we all visualize differently, and if we try to be like everyone else, then we're not going to be able to lean into our strengths, right? So this is just me drawing the hinge right now to prove that I do have the ability to visualize. It just needs to be how I visualize. Just a flex for myself, I guess. Right? I can draw, everybody, but yeah, draw along, join me, right? Um, it's not talent. It's just intentional work ethic. That's it, right? Talent is just a word losers use to excuse the fact that they're not going to put in the intentional effort. Keywords being intentional and effort, right? Most people don't know how to fucking even put in any sort of effort onto anything. So that's why they use words like talent, because they've never actually tried literally for anything, right? But you are not like them. You're like me. So yeah, draw along, motherfucker. Draw along. If it's not this, at least draw along something, right? Practice something that's difficult for you. And if it isn't difficult, then start learning things or practicing what is difficult. Because otherwise, you're not going to learn. Literally, just a fact, you're just not going to learn. Right? But yeah, I'm just trying to internalize the mannequin and just try to figure out what shapes can be put around it. Right? And it's very difficult, but we're just going to keep visualizing and keep trying to figure out what can be done. Right? Like, literally, what can be done. You know? I'm just trying to think. Here, I'm just ideating right now, and then we'll draw the actual thing, of course, right? Because this is all valuable as well, the ideations. Because what if I do something like this, right? So that's the top part. And again, I have to keep thinking about that mannequin, the hinge mannequin, which is a very difficult and complex shape to memorize. But what if I just do my mind keeps going to this because again, I'm trying to think about like this type of shape, because I'm trying to think what is actually like a genuinely difficult or not difficult, sorry, genuinely mechanical shape, right? And I'm just trying to think about that, because if I do think about that, I might be able to, and again, all based on just the hinge mannequin that I attempt to visualize to the best of my ability, right? So if I do think about that, then I should be able to create something unique, right? It's all just based on how hard I visualize, clearly, and the shapes that I come up with. Oh, I fucked up the perspective for this. Thankfully, it's a hinge, so it actually doesn't matter if it's angled a bit wrongly, right? That's the beauty of the hinge. Um, and then we can attach it like that, right? There you go. See, even that is starting to look like something that has merit, right? That's too thick, though. This has to be way down here. But I hope I'm making my point clear, is the fact that I want to keep adding things that surround the hinge shape, right? Because that's just like, look at this. This already looks mechanical, but this, the basis, this hinge that I'm seeing, like this, the basis, still there. Maybe not as well as it could have been, but it's still there, right? And then we could even have, hold up, something like, right? This is what I was, because okay, like it's all, since the last video, it's only been half an hour for those of you who are definitely not wondering, but I guess I'll fucking tell you anyways. But this is what I was trying to think about, is just this. It's like, okay, how could I just add shapes around it? And this is kind of, and let me actually speak it out loud. Basically, we use the hinge, right? We use the hinge and the main shape, but then we don't try to add little things. Like before, I was trying to add little things. We try to add genuine, like large, constructive shapes that wrap around the initial shape, and then think about how, okay, like how can that look slightly different, right? Something like that. For an example, just, and obviously I'm practicing multiple rounding, you know, because even something like this can and will already look like it's mechanical, right? Right, voice crack. If I do something like this, you know, that's based on the hinge shape. Like, of course, it's, and then it'll go that way or whatever. But you see, that's already kind of starting to look like it has something to offer. And this was just me pulling it out of my ass, not really thinking. So clearly, something like this could do a lot, right? And again, I could just really just push that angle. Boom. Right? And now this literally, this, holy shit, this could be a fucking like mech leg, mech arm, anything. Just mech something. And this is just ideation, right? And look, we haven't lost the fucking yeah, we haven't lost this. It's just hidden now, right? And now we have the cylinder, because that did have a cylinder, and now that cylinder can be attached to something else, which in turn, boom, ta-da! Oh my god, I'm a fucking genius. This is what happens when you let your mind go a little bit loose. Clearly, but again, it's not just this perspective. This perspective isn't the only thing I need to focus on. We need to try doing it in other perspectives as well, right? So that's also what's important, you know? So let's try again. And we have to keep keeping in mind that, like, hey, it's kind of just things that go around it. And this is why I need to keep visualizing it in my mind and thinking, okay, like how can I really push the, I guess, the complexity, right? Because it's gonna be difficult either way. Or it's gonna be difficult either way. So I just gotta think about how I can wrap these shapes around it. Right? Yeah, maybe that's a bit too long. But it can also work in my favor. Let me just, because I couldn't visualize that properly, I'll be honest. What I did right here, I couldn't visualize it too properly. But we're gonna keep trying, obviously. And again, this is where stuff like this can make a huge difference. Let's see. And this is why I need to obviously consistently visualize the mannequin, right? And this is the part where I'm actually starting to see the merit of what I'm doing. See? So there you go. That's where it's attached. And it comes out. But I need to think about like how does it gonna how am I going to like what is the shape that I'm trying to attach to? Yeah, what is the shape that I'm trying to attach to? So let me just do that. I forgot to add that. Still very difficult. Difficult, but maybe I can. And obviously my rounding needs a lot of work. There you go. There you go. Let's just leave it like that. Right. Okay, that's the mannequin. And that is not what I wanted to do. It should have gone like this. This should have gone around. So that's a genuine bona fide mistake. Very good, very good. Right. But again, I'm just trying to figure out. Okay. There you go. There you go. And again, I know that this probably doesn't really need to be as excessive as it is, but it's just a way for me to ideate. Right? In terms of like, okay, what could this hinge really be? It doesn't really look that good, but again, it's just about trying to capture the shapes around it. But this doesn't work. This doesn't work, and I couldn't think of anything. So I'm gonna rest my brain, and then we're gonna try again, right? I don't want to and I wasn't thinking hard enough. I really need to fucking think hard. But yeah, let me rest my brain. Yeah, clearly the moments I've done the best is when I, like, this was really good, right? But I think it's clear the moments I've done the best is when I've genuinely internalized that mannequin and just seen it consistently. So let's try that again here, right? Just gotta see it as much as possible in my mind. And let me think. Right? Because I need to see it. That's the thing. I need to fucking see this thing. Let's see. What's happening there? And like again, like while I'm doing these, I still need to see it, right? And I think this is appropriate, right? Now what am I trying to do? I'm trying to do this. Well, actually, so just trying to think. Okay, you know what? I'm gonna leave that because I don't have enough space for that. And I didn't see it properly. Let's try again here. Actually, no, let's finish this. We shouldn't reinforce that. We should just give up when we don't see something. Okay, so there you go. Something like that. And that as well. And then okay, and then we got this. It's coming around there. I'm just trying to connect this. Obviously, the commentary is fucking losing its entire mind, but when have I ever been a commentating channel? Since forever. How could you forget? There you go. Right, that's the hinge. It's clearly very drastically turning in this case. Right. This doesn't really make any sense, let's be honest. Yeah, I'm just gonna leave this. That doesn't make any sense. That worked out so well though. What did I do that was different? All right, like what was it that was so different about my process here versus here and here? That's what I need to figure out, right? I think like obviously having this as an anchor point helped a lot. So I guess we could just try designing around that, the same thing, but let's try that here again then, utilizing that as an anchor point. Right? With the same perspective. And then something like that. Right, so how does that turn into something unique and interesting? Cool. Okay, so we started with that. Do I taper this drastically? Do I multiple round it? What is it that I do? Right. Okay, so we got that. And the hinge obviously goes straight, and then we... So I guess I should just taper the fuck out of it. Right. But that doesn't look good, let's be honest. And I don't think I actually got the perspective right either. See, it doesn't really make much sense. I mean, I guess more than anything, I probably just struggle with this angle clearly, right? That's probably the main thing. But what's stopping me from adding something like this? Obviously with much better lines. Right, what's stopping me from adding something like that? Based on this hinge mannequin. Of course. Right? And it's like, okay, well, clearly I can have something go down here. So that as well. And then what? We could adjust it so this coming out is like that. Right? And is that the hinge now? And this is just attached to this. I don't know. That doesn't really make any sense. Well, clearly my best fucking overall attempt was that one. But I do need to think about the hinge mannequin way more than I am right now. We need to visualize it to the nth degree, right? So again, if I try something like that, and then it maybe I could do something like this actually. So it, and again, while I draw this, I have to fucking think about the hinge. It's super difficult, right? But let's just say this is what I have. Let's just think, okay, what could I draw around this, right? Maybe just something like that. Couldn't it? Couldn't it come down like this? Also wrapping around, like accounting for the change in the plane. Okay, don't fuck up the perspective now. I haven't thought hard enough. I feel as if the biggest thing holding me back is how hard I'm thinking right now. There you go. No, that doesn't work. That doesn't look good. Maybe I should just break it down to the smaller shapes, right? So we have this, right? What could wrap around that is the question, right? What if it's something like that, right? That's our little shape, whatever, that's our little thing. And then can we have something like some sort of circular shape around it that is multiple rounded, right? That attaches like so. And then we have this shape right there, right? Is that gonna work? No, I don't think. I literally think something's missing. I'm not trying hard enough. I'm not trying hard enough. Right? Because I should be able to just... Right, that's the main shape. And I keep messing this up. What is this? I need to slow down and think. I'm feeling extreme amounts of discomfort because I'm not slowing down and thinking. Nor am I drawing slow enough to practice correctly. I'm experiencing a lot of discomfort, which is good, don't get me wrong. But I need to also think about like how this could be utilized. Right, that's not a good shape either. Even if I do something like this, that's still not that good of a shape. And even if we have this come out, right, doesn't really make sense. That doesn't really make sense whatsoever. Okay, we need to think harder. We just need to think harder and really, like, whatever the fuck I did here, it was like a flash of genius or something. But what was it? Was it a combination of just thinking loosely and also just figuring it out as I went? Right, what was it? Because again, I could try something like... Right. And that is something like that. And that just goes straight into that, right? And that works, like that goes straight into that shape. We have this, and that looks fine. Right, but that's basically exactly what I did here. So I'm not trying to, actually no, it's technically different, technically. Right? And then we could just have, I don't know, another cylinder attached down here. Right, sure, that works. And then obviously we have our did that completely wrong. But then what? Can we even add, I guess we can just attach cylinders over here, right? And then I'm just trying to think. We could, because it's gonna go up over. Just trying to think. This comes down. Right? And then what? It attaches. So it's a hinge and it attaches. So we have the little attachment here. Just follow like that. It just goes through. And we then have this shape that's extremely tapered. And let's just say it's doing its thing. Let's see. Like that. No. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain. I need to keep thinking about this. It's difficult, but I think we need to really start focusing on what shapes can be encompassed around it. Yeah. But yeah, let me try. I think obviously my biggest bottleneck right now is knowledge, right? So if I have something like this, right? Let's just do something like that, right? That's not really what I wanted to do. But if I had something like that, this is like a thing that could also be part of the hinge, right? The question is if I'm thinking too deeply about it. But at the end of the day, it doesn't matter because I still have to do it. And then it goes like so. That's the hinge, right? We have to think about the shapes that create it. Because right now I clearly can't see it as well as I'd like. Right? Even something like this can definitely be an adjunct to the main shape, right? Ta-da! That's still the hinge, but it's not the hinge. It's just like the quality is so subpar of what I'm drawing, you know? I need to think about like what kind of shapes could I encompass in this or attached alongside of it. And I think knowledge is the biggest thing. Like I just don't have enough knowledge. There's just not enough knowledge in my mind when it comes to creating nice, interesting shapes. And that comes from obviously looking at mechs and designing for mechs, right? But we'll have to see. You know, I could do something like this, and that could also work, right? Something like that. That also works. And then again, yeah, we have this. We have this shape. Ta-da! Right, and that's happening on the other side as well. These are the kind of shapes maybe I could add around it. But is it really effective? Who knows? Who knows? I need to try harder. I don't think I'm trying hard enough. I don't think I'm understanding enough, right? I don't think I'm seeing the hinge enough. There's a lot of things I'm not doing enough. But we could try like this, maybe. It just all depends. It all hinges on how well I can see the hinge. Fucking shit joke. But so if I can just keep seeing the hinge in my mind, that's the main thing. I think I'm losing track. We need to first always be able to see the hinge, right? It only took fucking 40 minutes to figure that out. We just need to always be able to see the hinge, and then everything, literally everything, is based off of that. Okay, I need to figure this out. Hold up. It's like this. This is the box. This is the thing. So it's going down, and then it's like this. No. Right? It's... Let me see the box in my mind. Like that. Then why is the other side so much easier? I guess that curve is easier to do, but that doesn't make any sense. Hold up. I'm gonna keep trying that. Obviously, like before I go into that, because I have that idea down. So this is the initial one. And I just need to... It's going across two planes, or it's going like this. And then once it gets here, it's changing course. And then it's... Well, there's no point getting frustrated. Actually, I should be glad I made that error. Therefore, I am. I'm happy now. That was easy. Okay, there's no need to associate frustration with learning. It's a one-way ticket to burnout and not enjoying the practice, right? So I'm going to take back that and change it into... There you go. You see, I'm already happy again. I guess for me, it's just excitement. I love trying new things, but obviously we can't just expect to do that thing properly, right? Oof, let's grind my brain on this one. Because we can get this down, right? It's just the fact that it's on this plane. That's what I kept messing up. It's not on that, it's on this plane. So it's something like that. Yeah, there you go. That makes a lot more sense because it's on this plane. But that's still incorrect because I just need more space to figure this out. Right? Because if we're going to assume it's on that plane, it's going across, it's essentially, it's crossing over. And while it's doing that, it's also going diagonal, so it's like, yeah, it's like that. So the line is like, nope, it's so subtle, right? I don't know if I've got it down yet. Yeah, let me try again. Right, it's like this, and then once we get here, there you go, because then it's, that makes sense. And then on the other side, it's a lot easier to do. Personally, for me, for some reason, doing this angle is more difficult. And then we got, ta-da, okay. Now that I understand that, hopefully we should be able to do it here. But obviously appropriate to the angle that I'm trying to do it in. Let me try to figure out how this shape can look interesting. Right. And then maybe it's just something like this, right? And we can create an opening here. And while I'm doing this, I'm trying to think about that hinge. There you go. Kind of mid. But let's actually, this isn't even the angle that I wanted. I drew that in the completely wrong angle. Again, it's all about internalizing the hinge. If I can't see the hinge, I can't draw around the hinge. So I completely fucked that up and I lost it. So it's good. No way, that's not right. It's supposed to be like this. It's supposed to be like that. See, that's the angle I was going for. See? It just doesn't work. It doesn't work. This was probably one of my most difficult sessions yet. But I really think I'm just expecting too much of myself. We need to reframe. We need to view it from a curiosity and interest standpoint rather than a make something interesting standpoint. Right? I think that's my biggest issue right now. I keep thinking, oh, I have to see it. No, like, what's the main focus? What's the main focus? The main focus is seeing the hinge, right? The main focus is seeing the hinge And then past that, it's just kind of trying to design around it, right? But the main focus should always be to see the fucking hinge, right? And I am just not allowing myself that liberty to actually what's it called? Hold up, I'm gonna shut the fuck up. Yeah, to practice it the way I need to, right? To actually just take a step back and be like, okay, the main priority is seeing this hinge, nothing else. And that's my biggest problem right now is I didn't focus on that priority as well as I should have. That's what resulted in this frustration that I've been experiencing literally for the fucking entire session, right? It's not, the fault isn't in the approach, it's the mentality and the expectations that I put on myself. You know what I mean? Because this is already cool. This is already pretty fucking cool, right? All because I just decided to take a step back and be like, shut the fuck up, just shut up. Just understand what you're doing is going to be difficult, right? And it's okay to, I honestly think it's okay to just pause. I also need to fill the bottom of this page, so we need to keep trying. And again, I'm not, my biggest issue is I'm not taking time to think. That's the biggest thing. I'm not taking time to really think these things through, which is causing discontent, right? It's causing discontent. And again, like, this is how I can continue to practice and make sure I actually understand what I'm drawing, right? Is continuously internalizing the hinge. Obviously, I see a smaller hinge, much clearer, like this size, than I do this size. So that's on me. I need to obviously focus on proportion as well, right? And we can, let's see, do something like this. There you go. Like, there, it's connected like that. And that's still a hinge. Okay, let me try again. Let me try this angle again. And let's just from now on first focus on the fucking size of the hinge that we can actually control, right? So I need to think, if I can clearly think about a hinge in this size, then I need to be able to clearly right, do something like this. Right, just think about the perspective. Right. This is the part where I need to obviously try to figure out what it is that this needs to look like. And then we need to focus on that. Okay, so maybe I can try something like this, right? Oh, yeah, by the way, I noticed somebody commented on one of my videos recently, being like, "Oh, you're really living the breathing and drawing grind, like you're living art." It's like I'm not. Trust me, I'm just paying more attention to the world around me. It's really just that, right? Like there's no. I actually spend most of my time not doing art. I spend most of my time doing everything else, such as, well, I draw for 2 hours, and then I play piano for 1 hour, and then I do job hunting, portfolio work, right, for 2 hours, and then I eat for 2 hours, and then I gym for 2 hours, and then I stretch for an hour at night. Right? There's a lot of time in the day. I actually don't do anything. I don't live, breathe anything. I do a lot of different things in the day, right? And that's very possible for anyone, really. Okay, so that's an interesting shape. And then we can try maybe. You go. I'm like trying something different here, but I didn't think that through. Okay, I'm gonna rest my brain, and then we're gonna just try to create general shapes around the mannequin, right? Too many expectations. I put too many expectations. This was fucking incredible because I had zero expectations, and I was just ideating. The second I start expecting myself to be able to do something unique is the second I start having mental blocks, right? I think I have consistently made an effort to visualize the hinge, but I don't think I've made enough of an effort. So I'm gonna rest my brain. We have 10 minutes left, right? And we're just going to try to grind and just be patient. So, right, these are my little roadblocks that occur. This was great. Again, I'm glad I'm really struggling, but I need to struggle more, right? So let's me rest, and you shall do so as well. Yes. Honestly, I think next session I'm just gonna study some mech shapes, and we're gonna go from there. Like I'm gonna study some mech shapes and see how I can apply that to the hinges. Because I right now the biggest thing that's missing is a visual library, in the sense that like understanding general shapes that could be applied, right? This honestly looks pretty fucking sick because clearly somehow in the deep recesses of my mind I pulled out of my ass like some things that look could be mech like, right? But then everything else has been very difficult ever since. So yeah, we just need to figure it out. But I'm gonna keep doing it from the bottom angle because that's clearly what the biggest struggle is. So yeah, and I think this is the main thing. So I'm gonna try really hard to visualize this mannequin and just go off on it. There you go. Pretty sure the perspective is off there. Is it? Actually, no, it isn't. Kind of is. Kind of is. Right. But we have that. Now I just need to think about the shape that could be. Right? Because that's the perspective. So I could just start with something like this. And then let's see. Where could that go, right? It doesn't have to be exactly symmetrical or anything either. You could try something like this actually. Just cut it off there. And I was like, okay, like literally how can whatever I'm drawing back here encompass the hinge, right? The most important thing right now is to, of course, understand how the hinge is working and to really see it as much as I can. Something like that. Visualizing this is so difficult. I don't know how I'm gonna ever explain how difficult this shit is. But let's see, what could this shape turn into? There's a lot of potential here. This is the part where I need to take a step back and, like I said, be patient, right? So okay, clearly I could do something like this. Right, it's just attached. And it's as thick as the actual hinge that it's attached to as well. Most important question I need to be asking is, what can this do, right? And we have to obviously keep this in the box that I've envisioned. So it's gonna be like that, right? That's the box. And I need to think very clearly as to what this shape can be, right? What this hinge shape can be. And, or no, like this additional mech-like shape. Do something like that. Oof, that's not bad. And then it comes through here, right? And let's see, I already fucked up. Like, again, I need to work on my ellipses, but that comes through. We can have something like that. There you go. And then we can also add little divots, or not divots, but cutouts. And this way we can actually maybe something like that. My lines obviously need a lot of work. That's not bad. It's nothing incredible, but like I created an entire thing around this hinge, right? And then obviously we just have this. Yeah, there you go. I need to work on that a lot better. And there you go. Like we have a, well, it's been an hour. I want to draw one more thing there, but yeah, that's not bad at all. Can't lose the perspective just because I'm like, whoop-de-doo, I did it. Right. I love how I say that and then I'm like, whoop-de-doo, I fucked up the perspective. Okay, well, that's kind of neat, I'd like to think. Neat-ish. I'm gonna draw one more thing here and then we'll call it for this page. Let me rest my brain. Yeah, I'm glad. I'm really pushing myself and trying to understand and experiment, right? Which is the main thing I'm really trying to do, is just understand and experiment. So let's do another one here. And again, try to think about exactly what this shape could be, right? Or like what the thing surrounding it could be. Let me think. Again, I gotta keep trying to keep that damn perspective in mind. Right. And then, let's see. Okay. So, clearly it comes out like that. I just gotta figure out exactly what I'm gonna do. Because it doesn't hurt to have... Well, actually, maybe you could try something like this, right? I do like this idea. Like what I did here, right? I do like that idea. It feels very mechy to me. There you go. Gotta make sure my lines are decent at the very least. Right. Something like we. Okay, there you go. And we can do something like this. And then that comes across from the other side. Well, clearly I need to... There you go. Right? And I'm still trying to think about that mannequin to the best of my ability. Perspective was pretty off there. Cool. Let's see. I'm just trying to think out loud. Am I thinking out loud? It feels I'm just saying the words let's see and and think out loud. So clearly I haven't done fucking jack shit when it comes to explaining myself. But yeah, I'm just trying to visualize the yeah, I'm literally just trying to visualize the fucking entire mannequin and create an interesting shape around it. Interesting shape, right? Just trying to figure things out. Right? None of these shapes are really interesting, but it's the attempt that we're focusing on right now. Yeah, see, like that's completely misaligned, but that's okay. And then I just need to figure out this diagonal thing again. So it's like this comes across and then it's over. Cool. And then I have the actual hinge, right? That is what the fuck? I think I fucked that up. Oh, I did fuck it up. I did it the wrong way. It was supposed to be this one. That's supposed to be going like that. Right? Yeah. Okay, we'll leave this. We'll leave this. Mistakes were made. It's been an hour and 6 minutes. I just need to keep internalizing that hinge mannequin. Like again, if I try something here, honestly, what I should do is I should just start creating shapes and then see where I can fit the hinge inside of that. Right? So if I do something like this, where can I fit the hinge inside of this? Well, I can probably do something like that. And just let's see, try to make it maybe not so fucking perfect. Yeah, but I can probably do something like this. You know, hinge, this thing goes inside. Right? We'll have we will have this sort of accommodate the changes that occur. And that's already, I feel, is a better system to creating shapes around the hinges, right? And who's to say this doesn't have some sort of little thing right there, right? Again, we could probably do something like that. And then this will just go in like I've done before, right? Same thing. It's too small. I'm drawing way too small. I need and my lines are just so shit. So again, I'm not trying to be rude to myself. It's just I feel as if I need more. Maybe I just need more practice in drawing this thing itself. But clearly, I struggle quite a bit with understanding. Maybe I should just take a step back and try to draw this not one last time, but better than what it currently is, right? Because right now, what it currently is pretty mediocre, and I'm having a lot of trouble designing around it. Or maybe this is normal. Maybe this level of difficulty is to be expected, right? Because I got it there, you know, it's not too bad. Yeah, I just need to figure things out. I don't know. I feel fine. I'm not. And I don't know. Maybe I just didn't try hard enough. I think I'm expecting too much of myself. Why? How the fuck? How do I keep ending up in this loop where I'm like, I love learning. Okay, I've got the right mentality. Blah blah. But then I just because think about it, like this looks pretty cool. That was pretty interesting, I guess, right? That was pretty cool. This was a fuck up. I think the biggest thing is I'm keep losing the perspective of the hinge. So that's something I keep telling myself I need to practice. So I'm obviously going to keep practicing it. But something ain't right. I think I'm being too impatient. I'm definitely being too impatient. I don't know why I'm being so impatient, to be honest. Because I should be able to just really take my time. Right? Like, look at this. I'm taking my fucking time and it works out fine. Bars, I think. See, it's supposed to be something like that. Yeah, see, I'm taking my time. I understand the shape I'm supposed to draw. And it's not so bad. So what is the main issue here? What I said before, right? Which is just not thinking. I think not thinking is the biggest thing. I'm literally just not thinking. And it's obviously affecting my drawings because drawing is thinking. Right? And if I'm not allowing myself that liberty to genuinely focus really, really, really hard, then I'm not creating the effort that I need, right? In order to actually learn. Yeah, it's already been an hour and 11 minutes. Yeah, thinking, not thinking is the issue. Genuinely not thinking is the issue, and I'm experiencing a lot of friction, and I'm not enjoying that friction. That's the other problem. I'm not thinking hard enough, and when I am thinking hard, I'm not maintaining that level of effort and focus as consistently as I could. I'm experiencing a lot of mental friction, which is good because that's what learning is, but I'm not associating feelings of pleasure and positivity towards those feelings of friction because that's where we learn, right? So that's what I need to do more. That's just literally what I need to do more of, is just keep associating good positive feelings with friction and errors, because that's literally, your brain literally learns better that way, right? And I think that's what I'm having trouble internalizing. It's expectations, not thinking hard enough, and when I experience friction, not enjoying that friction, right? So if I just have to remove expectations and just lean into the friction, you know? And I don't think I did enough of that, and it's very evident with the drawings that I made. So the disappointment doesn't come from the fact that the disappointment doesn't come from the outcome, it comes from my input, which is I didn't try hard enough and I didn't have the right mindset. Don't get me wrong, I actually still forced a lot of good feelings regardless of how I thought I was feeling, but I think the main thing is just the fact that the expectation, right? I didn't embody a good learning mindset, which is, it's fucking annoying because I literally, like, the last session I'm like ooh wee, and the one before that I'm like ooh wee, and the one before that I'm like oh yeah, and then now I'm just like oh fuck, back to somehow not being able to embody that. So it really is just a mindset, something you have to consistently train, right? I'm actually I'm not content enough that I literally might do another hour, right? And just really lean into fucking killing my fuck I dropped my pen. really lean into killing my brain. But either way, please don't let my own internal fucking battles, which I hopefully won't go through much more of, but please don't let my internal battles get in the way of your learning journey, right? So, as always, I'm completely out of it. As always, fuck you for watching. Keep drawing, keep drawing, and please give me money.